Get ready, we are going to have a gender reveal party, and you'll also witness the creation of an owl. So sit back and enjoy this never-before-seen footage. Don't forget the popcorn.
Welcome! This is episode 4 of the Scrap Fabric Project series. Sorry, I don't know why that is so hard for me to spit out. If you're new to my channel, then definitely check out the past videos because we made like this scrappy pincushion, and then I also made this cute pot holder. And if you haven't subscribed yet, then click the subscribe button, because I would love to be part of your sewing, inspirational, creative community. So for today's project, I'm really excited about this, and we're going to be making a scrappy owl pincushion. So I've attached a picture. I made so many of these years ago, like 8 years ago. And I had so much fun making them, but I'm a giver and I gave them all away. So I really want to make a few more because they're just really cute. And I just wanted to share the project with you. And DIY Dish also has a YouTube video about this one, but don't go look at that one, okay? Just keep watching mine. That one was actually made in 2010. And so that's actually when I made it. And so here we are 12 years later, and it's still just the cutest project ever. Okay, so what you're gonna need for this project is fabric scraps, and don't even get me started on that. I have the hardest time picking out fabrics. So I am just stuck. I have paralysis when it comes to selecting the fabrics. Do I go with florals? Do I want it to be black and white? Is that too contrasting? Do I want a floral with a polka dot? Oh my gosh. I'm just stuck. Like, why can't I just pick something? It's not like it's gonna be in the state fair, and I just need to like close my eyes and just pick something. So the printout is going to look like this. This is the owl, and I got it from DIYdish.com. Okay, so if you Google DIY Dish owl pincushion, it'll come right up, and look at all this inspiration you have. They become addicting. So then you just click on the PDF, and they have put together this whole little pamphlet for you on how to make it. And then this is what you print out. And so you can just select it and print just these 2 pages. It's such a fun, cute project to use with your scraps. So you're gonna do a scrap for the main body, and then you're gonna need to do one for the back because we're going to sew it together. And then contrasting fabrics for this little guy, orange fabric right here and white felt for the eyes. And then you can even do black felt or attach little googly eyes to it if you'd like. And then pick a fabric for the legs. And then since we're gonna do a little bit of applique, you'll wanna get some fusible web. You can just pick this up at Joann's. They even have it in a roll. You don't need to get it in a package. And so for the body of the owl, you're going to want a mixture of some batting and then also these walnut shells because these give it weight, allow it to sit nicely on a shelf. And then you're going to want something to glue the legs onto the body. I just use my hot glue. I just use my hot glue gun, or you can even just hand stitch it. Okay, let's just start with this pellon. And what you're going to do is figure out, and even the directions say this, which side will peel away easily. So it's this one. So we're gonna mark on this side.
See sticky side and mark on that. I'm just tracing out the wings and the eyes and the nose. When I cut them out, it's not directly on the line. We're gonna do precise cutting when we put it on the fabric. I'm doing precise cutting on the owl because that is the shape our fabric needs to be. And right now I'm just going to make a quick template because I know I'm going to use this pattern a few times. These hanging folders were 3 for $1 at All a Dollar, and I just think they're cute to make templates out of. Well, a lot cuter than cereal boxes. Another All a Dollar find is this paper. It's really flimsy and you can see through it very easily because it's so thin. I could have printed the legs directly on it, but I couldn't find the paper at the time, so I'm just gonna trace it. And now I'm gonna cut the legs out and I'm gonna place them on our fabric and we're gonna sew directly onto the paper. So I decided on this black and white fabric for the legs. I think it's going to be a fun contrast, unless I change my mind again. Okay, you have entered the gender reveal party, but don't worry, no gifts are needed. This is where we find out if it's a girl or a boy. So the pink polka dot fabric says it all. It's definitely a girl. Now I'm just going to use my Sharpie to trace them out and then pin the fabrics together so they don't shift. And I never have any pins. I don't know where they go.
Did you check the floor?
Yes, smarty pants. I realize they're probably all over the floor. Okay, guys, I'm just going to cut this out for now. After snapping at the voice in my head, I realized how hungry I was, so I got to get me something to eat. Sorry, I get cranky if I don't eat, so let me just take a few minutes. Okay, I think it was that gender reveal party that took a lot out of me. So we're going to applique right now, and we're placing this on the wrong side of the fabric. Iron it on for about 10 seconds or less. If you iron it too much, it won't peel off. Then peel off a little section to make sure that the tackiness transferred onto the fabric. And now just go ahead and cut it out. And now we'll just do the same thing with the eyes. Now we'll work on the placement of the wings. One thing that is super helpful is after you iron it down, you'll want to peel up a little corner of it so that when you cut it out, you've already had that part detached. So right now I'm just marking in the section that I peeled up. So basically you're pre-pilling. And this fusible web is stickier than anything I've ever worked with before. I don't even think you need to iron it to transfer the stickiness. So we'll just stick them on right away before they get ruined, because you'll notice that the nose got ruined because it was so sticky. Well, not ruined, but out of shape. Okay, this is the fun part, although I just got to make sure that I get that on even. Does it look even? Okay, that side is a little bit lower. Okay, so far so good. And now I'm trying to concentrate here. Sorry, this is serious business. We are creating a scrappy masterpiece here. She is so cute, but see how our nose is just kind of messed up, but we can make up a story for that one. Now it's time to add our stitches, and you can do a blanket stitch if you'd like, or a more decorative stitch. I'm just going to do a straight line stitch, and oh, I can tell right here that my needle needs to be changed, but I'm too lazy to change it. Ooh. It actually would be really cute with some decorative stitches, but maybe on my next owl, I'm sure I'll make like 7 more. And for the eyes, you can do black felt or googly eyes. I actually have tons of buttons, so I'm just going to attach these buttons really quick. Aw, look how pretty she is. I'm gonna have to hide her from my daughter. Now we will sew the back to the front, so the right sides together, and we'll sew all the way around. And I'll be sewing the legs as well. We're gonna sew right on the paper. I'm using a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, and at the bottom I'm going to stop to leave a little hole to turn it right sides out. Don't forget to backstitch. If you change your stitch length to a 2, it's going to be easier to rip off the paper when we're done sewing. And we're just sewing along the printed line, and you'll want to leave an opening down by the feet area so that you can easily stuff your batting into it. And we're not turning the fabric inside out, so you can see that the right sides are showing. You're going to have raw edges on these legs. If you don't mind the raw edges, then go ahead and skip this step, but this is like a spur of the moment thing I'm doing just to reduce a lot of the fraying. It's called Fray Check, by the way, and I'll put the link in my descriptions tab if you want to get some. And now just make sure you get all the paper off. And now we're going to turn it right sides out. I like to use my crochet hook to smooth out all the edges. I do have one of those purple thingy sticks, but I can never find it.
Did you check the floor?
And for the ears, I'm just going to take a little pin and poke out the corners. And now I'll add some batting. I'm going to fill it a little bit with batting and then the rest with the walnut shells. Okay, so now we're working on her legs, and I'm making the opening a little bit bigger so that I can put this batting into it because it's going to go down into the feet. And I got to bring in some tools here because I'm struggling a bit. Okay, I'm actually struggling more than a bit, but I'm determined to get this in here. I'm going to use my crochet hook. There we go. This is actually turning out to be so cute. I hope you guys watch to the end so you can see how cute she is. Actually, if you can think of a name for her, leave it in the comments below. Now repeat this with the other leg, and then we'll take it to the sewing machine and we'll sew it shut. So I started putting some walnut shells in here, and I just stuffed her in this pot so that I can stabilize her. Right now I'm just making a funnel out of paper because I can't find mine.
Did you?
And yes, I did check the floor. Okay, I can't be the only one who has sewing supplies on the floor, right? Someone please comment and just help me feel better. I mean, I don't intentionally put them there. They just end up on the floor. Okay, now that your owl is almost full of walnut shells, we're going to finish it off with batting and then hand stitch it. And right here, I realize I could have just used my hot glue gun to glue it shut, but I think naturally I just want to go for the needle and thread. Now grab your legs and make knees, and all we're doing is just tying a knot in it. Make sure that the knot is in the middle so that the knees are placed correctly, and I'm going to find this example to post. Now we're going to flatten out the bottom a little bit because see how the example shows, we're going to want it to sit. Now I'm just going to take my hot glue gun and just glue the legs in place. And there you have it. Now you can tell your friends that you watched an owl be born.
Okay, guys, look at how cute she is. Oh my gosh, I want to give her a name and like a birth certificate. Remember how the Cabbage Patch dolls came with a birth certificate, and then I could like sign my signature on her bum? What do you think? That is so cute. Okay, so if you decide to make one on your own, go ahead and find me on Instagram at simplydelilah1. I would love to see all the different scraps that you would use. So if you liked this tutorial today, then give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing, and make sure that you check out my other videos. Okay, have a good day. Bye, guys.